Why older adults keep waking up at 4 a.m. The shocking reason. No one talks about. Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling in the still darkness of 4 a.m., wondering why you're wide awake while the rest of the world sleeps? Do you ever feel like your body is working against you, pulling you out of sleep just when you need it the most? And have you asked yourself, is this normal? Or is there something deeper going on? If you're over 50 and this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many older adults experience this silent phenomenon, waking up at 4 a.m. and not being able to go back to sleep. But here's the truth. This isn't a random quirk of aging, and it's not a flaw in your system. It's your body, your mind, and your life experience all intersecting in powerful, meaningful ways. In this video, and in this breakdown, we're going to unpack 5 of the most common and insightful reasons behind those early morning wake-ups, and what they might really mean for your health, your habits, and your heart. 1. Decreased melatonin production. Let's begin with one of the clearest biological reasons: the decline in melatonin production that happens naturally as we age. Melatonin is often called the sleep hormone because it signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. When you're younger, your body produces melatonin consistently and robustly each night, helping you not just fall asleep, but stay asleep through the night. But as the years pass, this production starts to fade. And by the time you reach your 60s or 70s, your melatonin levels may be significantly lower, especially in the early morning hours. This means that even if you fall asleep easily at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. by 4 a.m., your body may no longer be producing enough melatonin to hold you in that deep, restful sleep state. As a result, your brain begins to shift toward alertness, not because anything is wrong, but because your chemistry is simply different now. Even small sources of light, like a digital clock, a street lamp outside your window, or the hallway light peeking under your door, can further suppress melatonin. Your aging body becomes more sensitive to environmental cues, and this sensitivity can quietly disrupt your rest. Let's take the story of Harold, 67, who used to sleep soundly until sunrise. Lately, though, he found himself waking up like clockwork around 4:15 a.m. He wasn't anxious or in pain, just awake. It was confusing at first, until he learned that this pattern was tied to his changing melatonin levels. Once Harold understood this, he made a few simple changes. He darkened his bedroom with blackout curtains, started avoiding screens after dinner, and began taking a short walk around sunset to reinforce his natural circadian rhythm. Within weeks, his sleep felt more restful. Even if he still woke up early occasionally, he was no longer frustrated. He understood what his body was doing, and that made all the difference. Second, shifted circadian rhythm, advanced sleep phase. Another major factor behind 4 a.m. wake-ups is the natural shift in your internal clock, a phenomenon known as advanced sleep phase. As we get older, our circadian rhythms begin to shift forward. This means your body starts winding down earlier in the evening and becomes ready to wake earlier in the morning. It's not a matter of willpower, it's biology. You might notice yourself feeling drowsy by 8 p.m., even if you used to be a night owl. And if you fall asleep around 9 p.m. or 9:30 p.m., by 4 a.m., your body might have already completed its full cycle of rest. This shift isn't harmful, but it can be frustrating, especially if your lifestyle or household is still on a later schedule. It might feel like your sleep is broken, when in reality, it's simply been rescheduled. Let's consider Charles, 63, who recently retired. He eats dinner early, enjoys a quiet evening, and naturally drifts to sleep around 9 p.m. Without setting an alarm, He consistently wakes around 4 a.m. Initially, he worried something was wrong, but after learning about advanced sleep phase, he realized that his sleep was functioning perfectly. It was just happening earlier. Charles decided to stretch his evening routine a bit. He read under a warm light, went for gentle evening strolls, and called his daughter after dinner. These small social and sensory adjustments helped push his sleep window a little later and brought his wake time closer to morning. Fourth, lifestyle habits that quietly shift your sleep. Your habits shape your biology, and small, long-standing routines can have a huge impact on your internal clock. Many older adults eat dinner early, limit physical activity, and start winding down soon after sunset. These patterns can cause your body to interpret the evening as night, prompting sleep far earlier than expected. Over time, this results in earlier and earlier wake-ups, sometimes landing squarely at 4 a.m. Walter, 69, slowly fell into this rhythm after retiring. Without a strict schedule, he'd eat dinner at 5 p.m., watch the news, and fall asleep in his chair by 8 p.m. By 9 p.m., he was in bed. And by 4 a.m., his body had simply completed its rest. He didn't feel tired, just confused by the early timing. To shift things back, Walter began walking after dinner, reading in a well-lit room and avoiding long naps. These subtle adjustments re-established clearer boundaries between day and night and allowed his internal clock to settle into a rhythm more aligned with the sunrise. Even your eating schedule matters. Eating too early and skipping a bedtime snack can cause blood sugar dips in the middle of the night. You might not feel hungry, but your body may still respond by waking up. Likewise, caffeine, even consumed in the early afternoon, can stay in your system longer as your metabolism slows with age. These details, often overlooked, play a quiet but powerful role in how and when you sleep. 5. Emotional or psychological restlessness. Finally, sometimes waking up at 4 a.m. isn't about the body at all. It's about the mind. As we age and life slows down, the quiet hours of night create space for thoughts, emotions, and memories that were once buried under busy schedules. Without the distractions of the day, our mind begins to sift through unfinished business, past relationships, unresolved regrets, or lingering questions. This isn't always anxiety in the traditional sense. Often, it's subtle, more like a whisper than a scream. It's a gentle restlessness, a need to reflect, to remember, or to connect with something meaningful. Gloria, 75, experienced this after her husband passed away. By day, she kept busy with gardening and calls to family. But at 4 a.m., she often woke with memories, some joyful, some sorrowful. She wasn't afraid or panicked, just awake and aware. Rather than resist it, she began journaling. A few lines each night helped her process her emotions. She also started playing soft music before bed and writing letters to loved ones, sometimes mailed, sometimes not. These small acts helped her rest not only physically, but emotionally too. Waking up at 4 a.m. might be your mind's way of asking to be heard. It doesn't always need fixing. Sometimes it simply needs space and kindness. Waking up at 4 a.m. doesn't always mean something is wrong. In fact, it might mean your body is working exactly as it should, responding, adjusting, and evolving with your age. Whether it's biological, environmental, emotional, or habitual, each early wake-up is an invitation to better understand yourself. Instead of frustration, try curiosity. Instead of blame, offer compassion. By listening to your body and your heart, you can transform restless nights into moments of gentle insight. And that shift might just be the key to finding deeper rest, lasting peace, and a more meaningful relationship with sleep in this new chapter of life. What time do you usually wake up in the middle of the night? Is it 4 a.m., 5 a.m., or maybe even 9 a.m.? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear your story and how you've been dealing with it. What are your thoughts on this? I'd love to hear your comments. Your feedback means a lot to me. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it to support me. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.